My theory on bipolar disorder, from an intuitive standpoint, is that I do think it correlates with duality and duality within perspectives. So I do feel like, these individuals can't help but to see reality two different ways. And this does go back to, astrology signs, whether people want to acknowledge it or not. And some of these duality signs are Gemini, Cancer, Libra, Scorpio, and Pisces. Now, the reason for these signs is because they hold, a dualistic way of applying themselves, whether it be elements or what they stand for. So when it pertains to Gemini, it's the two faces, seeing things two different ways, positive, negative. So it's intellectualizing things because it's Gemini in two different ways. Now with Cancer, it's, feeling two different type of ways. It's Cancer, so it's feeling two different type of ways or multiple type of ways. And, this is what makes a Cancer moody, is because, this perspective is going to shift, and so therefore the emotional state will as well. Now when it pertains to Libra is going to look at both sides, the good and the bad. It's the two scales balanced, So it's going to see the negative and positive within, an interaction or anything it has to, do, basically. It's going to weigh out the negative and positive. So this can make, the, brain, emotional state, all of it, alter. I do think it's more so of a, it's like the likes and dislikes, because Libra is ruled by Venus, right? So it's a planet of love, what you desire, love. So in that case, you have strong likes and dislikes, and you act according to that. Now, when it pertains to Scorpio isn't dualistic on the surface. It's more dualistic in terms of, itself internally, being that it's ruled by two different planets. We have Mars here and Pluto. So it's going to have an action-oriented, side, and a side that's willing to destroy and, wait for the rebirth, almost like a snake peeling its shedding its skin, like getting rid of the unnecessary. So when you have these two energies, you can, hold a lot of mystery because of the things that you understand and perceive. And within the perspectives, within that realm itself, you can either get acquainted or disturbed by it. And that could in turn, make you act a certain way. You do have an advantage of understanding the undercurrents of emotional states within people, and you don't really hold words too literal. You really stand by the energy and what's felt underneath and behind. And so this can make you act out on that or be understanding. So, it could take both approaches. You can be both. You could be understanding one minute and then very disgusted the next, All these signs, are prone to bipolar disorder for this reason. Now, last but not least, we have Pisces. And Pisces is going to, it's the fish swimming opposite direction. So it's going to, just like Cancer and Gemini in an interesting way, Pisces is like the combination of the two, where the perspectives and what it literally sees, and processes like a Gemini, but not really intellectualized. It's more so just process And to an extent, that is that, mutable intellectualizing that goes on, being just mutable and just understanding to all things. So Pisces is going to go with the flow and feel everything out, but feel two different things at the same time. Whereas Cancer is a little bit back and forth. Pisces is, all at once. So that is a difference with the emotional state. Although it is water and it is emotional, just like Cancer, it's happening all at once. So it can, throw the Pisces off. Sometimes it is going to operate like the Cancer, where it could be back and forth. It's 1 minute you're seeing it so positive, euphoric, and then next thing you know, you're thinking about the doubts and the what could go wrong. And then you may stay there for a little bit and then dream about it again and go back and forth. And then at some point you may just see it both happening different ways, and it may just make you, go a little nuts sometimes and not know what world you're really in. So, and act that way and act and lash out on people sometimes. And this is, and I would say bipolar disorder is it's correlated a little bit more with the lower frequency, and that's not bad. That just means you have to work on yourself. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That means that you need to heighten your frequency in order for it not to affect you, in order for you to stand above it, to understand that this is the human within you, and the soul and spirit within you can rise above it and manage it. And you have to look at it like you are the parent managing the child, so that you can disassociate with your human behaviors, your innate human behaviors and what you're prone to, and not really judge it, but more so acknowledge it so that you can correct it. Because if you don't acknowledge it, you won't correct it, and you'll stay at a low frequency. And I don't think that you guys want to be medicated forever. I do believe that medication is only going to be, like a vice. It's going to numb it, and it may manage it for the time being, but I don't think that that's a long-term approach. I do think that should be like the crutches. I'm not saying do not take any medication. I would say take the medication as you develop and work on yourself till you don't have to anymore. But there needs to be an approach and an attempt that, that you wean off of it, just like you would alcohol or any other substance. I don't think anyone should be on anything for too long. We've seen how like certain celebrities have been on, medication, and how it's played out in the public eye, So, I do think that we have to look at how our human patterns, operate and study each other so that we can learn from each other's mistakes. And I make this, video because I just wanted to bring a little awareness to this mental health issue and how it correlates spiritually, and how, astrology, is more so of an energy reader. I'm not into reading horoscopes. I'm not into horoscopes at all. But I do understand that planets cultivate energies, and we're all born with a specific planetary, image in a way where the planets are positioned in a certain way where certain energies from the planet is radiating towards the earth and affecting earth and the atmosphere and energetically. And when you're born that day, that's the energy, that you have innately, whatever that energy was, felt that day basically is your energy, and that you have to, manifest with this life. So if you were born during a time of war and you're, a chaotic person, it would make sense. You know what I mean? You were born during a time of war. If you were a person that, were born peacefully into the world, you may, have sensory issues and be sensitive to things because you were born into the world peacefully, and you may crave being quiet and all those things, and it would make sense. You know what I mean? So all these things make so much sense when you think about where we come from and how it all makes, ties in together basically. So I do think that's how I look at the astrology. And this is my, intuitive insight on it, and my assessment thus far, Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. My name is Gawd, and until next time.